Welcome. All right, today we're diving into a super fascinating explainer on the South Florida real estate market. Specifically, we're decoding exactly how Mora Realty navigates the highly nuanced, really fast-moving market of Hollywood, Florida. If you've ever wondered how a modern, hyper-local real estate practice actually operates compared to those massive corporate brokerages, well, you're absolutely in the right place. Let's dive right in. So, what actually makes or breaks a deal down here? I mean, is it just having the right budget, a stroke of luck? In a dynamic coastal market like Hollywood, achieving success, whether you're investing, leasing, or buying, goes way, way beyond just spotting a for sale sign. Really, it boils down to data, timing, and having a truly integrated strategy. Okay, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. Number 1, the integrated advantage. 2, doing the commercial math. 3, direct access. And finally, number 4, the coastal corridor footprint. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the integrated advantage. Synergy under one roof. So Mora Realty offers what we call full cycle support. They aren't just out there doing one-off residential sales or only laser-focused on commercial leases. No, they handle the whole shebang: buying, selling, leasing, and investing. What that means for you is, whether you're an owner user looking for a single storefront, a landlord trying to secure a great tenant, or an investor doing some heavy long-term portfolio planning, the entire life cycle is completely covered. The real advantage here? It's perspective. They literally see the whole board. Picture this. You're a small business owner, right? And you're buying your very first commercial storefront in Hollywood. That is a massive business milestone. But it often triggers a personal one too. Suddenly you're thinking, hey, we should probably move the family closer to the new shop, because Mora Realty houses commercial, residential, and rental services all inside a single agency. You can seamlessly coordinate that commercial acquisition right alongside your residential move. There's no need to go out and hire two totally disconnected teams. It's just one smooth process. Let's look at another brilliant example of this synergy in action. Say you're an investor eyeing a mixed-use building, retail on the bottom, apartments up top. Well, the commercial side of the practice evaluates that retail space, but then they can instantly tap into their own local Hollywood rental market analysis. They can tell you exactly what those upper floor residential units are going to rent for. Getting that real-time integrated data, it gives you a massive, massive edge when you're underwriting the whole building. Moving right along to Section 2, doing the commercial math. This is where details absolutely dictate the deal. You see, there is a totally stark contrast between these two markets. When you buy a house, residential deals are largely decided on lifestyle fit, right? It's highly emotional. You fall in love with the kitchen or the backyard. But commercial deals, they live and die strictly by the math. Just the math. As Mora Realty points out, an agent literally has to walk through the financial model until every single input is completely understood and believed by the client. No emotions, just numbers. And the absolutely crucial point here is knowing exactly which numbers actually matter. It's the small, hyper-local details that determine if a deal is going to work long-term. We're talking about highly specific zoning nuances, really strict parking ratios, the heavy cost of hurricane code retrofits, and tenant mix trends along major arteries like Federal Highway and Hollywood Boulevard. Let me tell you, any single one of those factors can swing a deal's underwriting by a massive margin. It's make or break. To manage all those crazy details, you need a seriously rigid process. So Mora Realty uses a strict 3-step commercial methodology. Step 1, a written scope. You clearly define the asset type, the price band, the timeline, and your decision criteria right up front. That becomes your filter for everything moving forward. Step 2, underwriting the candidates that actually pass that filter. And Step 3, moving right into the lease or purchase negotiation where the actual terms are hammered out. Now, let's double-click on that second step for a second. Underwriting. Underwriting basically means filtering candidates against realistic rent rolls, capital expenditure, or CAPEX assumptions, and financing costs. What does that mean in plain English? It means pressure testing the property. What is the actual real rent coming in? What repairs are immediately needed? And how much does the loan actually cost you at the end of the day? If those 3 things don't perfectly align, well, the deal just doesn't happen. All right, Section 3, direct access, communication that closes deals. I want you to listen to this guiding philosophy from Mora Realty. I work directly with owners, tenants, and small investors, never through layers of assistance. I mean, think about the most common frustration with those large corporate brokerages. You hire a big flashy name, but then you end up talking to their junior assistant's intern half the time. Mora Realty operates on a strict no gatekeepers policy, which builds immediate, real trust and serious accountability. And why does that personalized direct access matter so much? Because you always know exactly who is drafting the LOI and who is reviewing the estoppel. Look, commercial deals can move slowly for perfectly good reasons, like waiting on structural inspections, but they should never, ever move slowly just because your broker is playing a game of telephone. When a landlord needs a hard decision by the end of the day, having a direct line to the person who's actually drafting your letter of intent, that is an incredible advantage. Which brings us right to this critical number. 1. A 1 business day response time. Because the principal agent is the one taking your calls and texts directly, you aren't just sitting around waiting in some queue. They're available 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. Seriously, when millions of dollars or the entire future of your business are on the line, that kind of dedicated, personalized accessibility is exactly what you want in your corner. Finally, Section 4, the Coastal Corridor Footprint, Navigating Hollywood's Map. The Hollywood and South Broward market is incredibly diverse. Mora Realty handles a really wide range of investment property types. We're talking small multifamily units, mixed-use buildings, single-tenant retail spaces on those major traffic arteries, and boutique offices tucked away along downtown adjacent streets. And, underwriting each of those requires a totally different lens. Retail leans heavily on tenant credit, whereas mixed-use requires a carefully blended view of both residential and commercial health. Now, zooming in on the map specifically along Hollywood Beach, South Central Beach in Florida, and the broader coastal corridor, these beachside neighborhoods are highly, highly sought after. Underwriting multifamily properties in these specific coastal zones relies incredibly heavily on rent roll stability and turnover costs. Basically, you have to project those costs directly against comparable Hollywood rentals to make absolutely sure the investment holds water against those steep coastal premiums. But hey, it's not just about buying a single property and calling it a day. For local investors trying to carefully build out a small Hollywood portfolio, Mora Realty really focuses on sequencing acquisitions. What this means is helping you perfectly time your purchases so that your cash flow, your financing, and your actual hands-on management bandwidth stay in total balance. It's all about comparing your options against realistic return targets and tax postures so you don't accidentally overextend yourself. Which brings us to a final, really important thought to leave you with. Does your current representation actually give you this level of integrated direct access? Whether you are buying a local storefront, analyzing a mixed-use building, or trying to build a robust coastal portfolio, who you choose to work with matters immensely. Well, I hope this explainer gave you a clear, structured look into how a highly specialized, locally focused real estate practice actually operates. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep learning, keep asking the tough questions, and I will see you in the next explainer.